So we're going to start with Tanya Maggi. And Tanya is the Dean of Community Engagement and Professional Studies at New England Conservatory, as well as a member of the NEC faculty and a wonderful violist. She didn't write that, but I did. She's going to offer ways to use music to spark new relationships and connections in a time of social distancing. Tanya, we look forward to your words.
Great. Thank you so much, Lisa. And I'm so thrilled to be here today, sending lots of love and healthy thoughts to all of you. I'm Tanya Maggi, as Lisa said. I'm the Dean of Community Engagement and Professional Studies at New England Conservatory. And I'm really thrilled to have followed Jesse's remarks, as I think some of what I'm going to say is really contextualizing her work, very much rooted in the day-to-day of navigating this time with my students and with our community partners. I'm going to share my screen here, which hopefully will work. And let's see if this works. Yep, there we go. Okay, just to keep me on track. So in the days following our closure, as so many of us in the arts industry were facing the fact that all our programs and performances and events were canceled. At New England Conservatory, our students were sent home to their homes across the globe, back to their childhood bedrooms. We were really grappling with how to be. And I found myself sort of vacillating between the fear and paralysis and the pressure, the artistic pressure of being creative and really offering something new and unique to the world. And I just want to start with this chart here, which really has helped me navigate this time. It's a tool that I'm using with a lot of my students. It's credited to Beth Cantor, and I was introduced to it through a session with the Mass Cultural Council. But for me, it's a visual that really captured this continuum of movement between fear and learning and growth. And it's something that's been reflective in my students as they've grappled with how to make meaning, to go back to Jesse's words, and how to create relationships in this time. Relationship building has been absolutely the through line in all of my work with my students and with our community partners. So through conversations in those early weeks, I started to see some themes rising to the top. And I've kind of distilled them here. And they really have become my core beliefs in my work with my students, creating meaningful and personal connections with others. And those might look very different than the way you would normally interact with people who are in your life. Creating new and creative ways to connect with people that you may not have had any relationship with before, listening and responding to need. And again, that may look very different than in our usual world. Finding ways of being that are unique to who you are. Jesse spoke to this, that I think that many artists are grappling with how to be in this time. And there's a pressure to be something that may be different than who you may authentically be. Giving yourself permission to experiment, explore, and possibly fail. That's a hard one for artists. And focusing on what's most important here and now, which for many of our music students, that is not music right now. And that's a real departure. So I want to share a couple of stories of some beautiful relationships that have been built out of this time, and just shine a light on new ways of interacting that I think really give us hope for how we may move forward. This is Michelle Etienne Campbell. She's the Executive Director of YOFES, Youth and Family Enrichment Services, which serves local Haitian community members and youth. We have worked with YOFES in the past, but we sent a note out to all of our community partners on March 19th at 11:29. At 11:55, Michelle was in touch with us asking the question, how can we provide vital services to our youth that really address stressors in the home right now? And so within a week, we had created an online school This is something we're not able to do during the course of the school year. There are a number of barriers, logistical barriers. We have 6 students who are all teaching 20 young people in the YOFES community. You can see just a quick slide of their website. And then this is a young Lamarcus who is being taught by Lily. They had a lesson this morning. And these are new relationships that would never have been created outside of this unusual and uncertain time. I also want to highlight another story. This is Angela. Angela came into our office on March 13th in a trash bag, which she had created as her graduation cap and gown. She was supposed to graduate this year. Unfortunately, she had to go home. She had to go back to Taiwan. She had to quarantine for 2 weeks. So she was facing an enormous amount of fear and anxiety. However, 2 weeks later, she was part of a musical storytelling showcase, sharing music and storytelling for young listeners. Not only did this get an enormous viewership, but we also received so many personal reactions from families, parents, and children watching these together and commenting on how this is a wonderful way to bring families into the world of music. You can see Angela here. Another added element was Angela got to collaborate with her father. So they told the story of the Gruffalo, and this is a little example of them really getting into it. So I love how this sort of illuminates a type of relationship building that wouldn't have been able to happen outside of this period of time, and really took the anxiety and fear and turned it into a creative endeavor. I want to just close with a quote that has been a guiding light for me during this time. The very least you can do in your life is figure out what you hope for. And the most you can do is live inside that hope, not admire it from a distance, but live right in it under its roof. And I think it speaks to this future that we're navigating with the hope of building relationships to guide us forward. So I'm going to turn it back to Lisa.
Thank you so much, Tanya. That was really beautiful, and I'm so glad you shared slides this time, because it was to see the beautiful faces of those kids and the hope on their faces is what we need today. So thank you so much.